D, wait for it, light bulb.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? Now, if you're a fan of Netflix original series, then you've probably learned this the hard way. Don't get too attached. Now, the streaming service has something of a reputation for canceling series, even fan favorite ones after a few seasons. Now, while that is largely just a natural extension of just how much television Netflix puts out, 2019 felt like a particularly brutal year for television cancellations. Now, over the course of the year, Netflix announced the end of at least 25 series, nearly double what it was canceled in 2018. And on that list were some major losses for fans. Now, the end of Marvel's Jessica Jones and The Punisher were both hard losses for fans of Marvel's television offsprings, while the cancellation of the OA actually resulted in a protest of sorts as a fan of the Brit Marling starring series launched an all-out boycott of Netflix when the series was not given a third season. So, as we closed out 2019, let's take a look back at some shows that Netflix canceled in 2019. Now, it's important to note that I did not include shows whose ending was announced in 2018 for a final seasons to air in 2019. Now, the series included in this list all had announcements about their fates in 2019, even with many not airing their final episodes until this new year. So now let's take a look at what got the axe in 2019, and let's don't forget to share all your comments and thoughts in that section down below. So first on my list is one of Netflix's early cancellations in 2019 was Fuller House. Now, the Full House follow-up series was renewed by the streaming giant for a season 5, but made it clear that the 5th season would be the series' last. Now, this new series has already had 4 heartfelt seasons starring most of the original cast. Now, this reboot follows DJ Tanner Fuller as she winds up in the same tragic situations as her father did in the original series. Now, after the death of her husband, DJ is left to care for her 3 children. Now, thankfully, her best friend Kimmy and her sister Stephanie move in to help her care for the family. Next on the list is another early cancellation. Netflix dropped the axe on Travelers after 3 seasons. Now, Travelers starred Eric McCormick and took social media at the time to share the news with fans. But it wasn't all glum, as he also thanked the fan base for supporting the show for such a positive response to season 3. And of course, we have Jessica Jones. The last of Marvel's Netflix series, Jessica Jones, was also a casualty of 2019. Now, the series was canceled in February ahead of its 3rd season, with the announcement coming along with the announcement that The Punisher wouldn't be returning either. Speaking of The Punisher, that's the next one on the list, and it was canceled in February at the same time as Jessica Jones. Next one is Friends from College, which starred Kobe Smulders, Keegan-Michael Key, and Annie Paris. Oh, geez. Was canceled shortly after its 2nd season debuted on Netflix. Next is One Day at a Time. This one at least has a silver lining. Netflix canceled One Day at a Time after 3 seasons earlier this year. But thanks to a fan uproar, the series ended up finding a new home on the CBS-owned Pop Network. Next is Santa Clara Diet. Now, this is another show that surprisingly got the axe from Netflix in 2019. The streaming platform had decided not to renew the series after its 3rd season of 10 episodes, dropped in March 29th. It's a surprising move from the streaming giant, with the show being one of the service's tentpole properties in original programming, with an all-star cast including Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant. Next up is The Ranch. Netflix canceled the fan-favorite comedy show The Ranch after 3 full seasons. Now, the show had already filmed 20 new episodes, which will debut in 2 10-episode branches over the course of 2019 and 2020. Next is Lucifer. After being saved from cancellation when Fox dropped the axe after 3 seasons, Netflix announced earlier this year that Lucifer would come to an end at its service after 5 seasons. Next up is Chambers. One of Netflix's supernatural horror series was canceled after 1 season. The series stars Uma Thurman and Tony Goldwyn. Next is The Rain. In the Danish Netflix original series The Rain, two siblings emerge from a bunker 6 years after a terrifying rain-carried virus has wiped out almost all human beings in Scandinavia. And with civilization in tatters, the siblings and a group of other young survivors set out on a mission across Denmark and Sweden to find not only a safe place, but to find their father, who might be able to provide a cure to the devastating virus. Now, after 2 seasons and 14 episodes on the streaming service, this was canceled in 2019. Designated Survivor was the next one up. After saving the series from cancellation by ABC, the revival of Designated Survivor was very short-lived. The streaming giant Netflix announced that the Kiefer Sutherland series was canceled after picking up the 10-episode season 3, killing all hopes for a 4th season. Next one up is Trinkets. Netflix announced in July that Trinkets would be getting a 2nd and final season consisting of 10 episodes. The new installment is currently set to launch sometime in 2020, with filming taking place in Portland, Oregon. Next one up is 13 Reasons Why. Netflix announced in August that the 3rd season of 13 Reasons Why would be released in August 23rd. Shortly after, The Hollywood Reporter broke the news that an early 4th season renewal had been handed out by Netflix, but that it would mark the final season of the series. Next one up is She's Gotta Have It. The streaming service made the call in July to cancel She's Gotta Have It, the updated TV adaptation of Spike Lee's feature film of the same name, after just 2 seasons. Next one up, Grace and Frankie. Fonda and Lily Tomlin is set to air its 6th season in January, but there is already more of the series in store. Netflix announced on Wednesday that Grace and Frankie had been renewed for a 7th and final season, with a 16-episode final season will take the overall episode count of Grace and Frankie to a whopping 94, the most of any Netflix original series. The OA, like I mentioned earlier, Netflix canceled the sci-fi drama series just after 2 seasons, much to fan disappointment. Next up is No Good Nick. Now, Netflix ended the run of No Good Nick after just 1 season. Now, the series, whose season had been divided into 2 parts, starred Sabrina the Teenage Witch star Melissa Joan Hart and the Lord of the Rings star Sean Astin. Next up is Glow. Following a successful 3rd installment earlier this year, Glow has been renewed for a 4th and final season. Bojack Horseman. Adult animation mainstay Bojack Horseman, one of the first true original hits for Netflix, is set to air its final season. Now, Netflix announced that the upcoming 6th season of Bojack Horseman will in fact be its last. Part 1 of the final season was released on October 25th, followed by Part 2 on January 31st in 2020. So, just a few months and the story of Bojack will officially be over. Next up, Dear White People. Netflix announced in October that Dear White People was being brought back for a 4th and final season on the streaming service. This will bring the story of the students at Winchester University to a close, likely sometime in 2020. Next up, Anne with an E. Now, Netflix pulled the plug on Anne with an E in November, a joint production between the streaming giant and CBC. The 3rd season, which is expected to hit Netflix in January, will serve as the show's last season. And last on this list is The Dark. The German sci-fi thriller sometimes compared to Stranger Things, Dark was given a 3rd and final season renewal in 2019. Now, the series follows the aftermath of a child's disappearance, which exposes the secrets and hidden connections among 4 estranged families as they slowly unravel a sinister, multi-generational spanning time travel conspiracy. So, those are the TV series that Netflix canceled in 2019. How do you guys feel about these shows being canceled? Are you bummed? You not bummed? You kind of glad they're over with so you can move on to the next show? Go ahead and leave all your thoughts and comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a good day. Bye. Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that deep what icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, join me every Thursday where you can check out ranks and reviews, videos just like this.